Everything that's happening with the Clancy case right now is exactly why I try to help women who are in a relationship, an entrapment with somebody that has NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. And I'm going to show you how, if you are in a relationship like this, and I say the word relationship very loosely because it's not a relationship, you are being held captive by an abuser. I have made these 3 things to help women get out of it. Okay, I'm going to show you what they are. First, we have the Is This Abuse checklist. This is all back to front to back, because it's mirrored. But we have the Is the Abuse checklist. This is version 2.0. I've redone the entire thing. The first one, it wasn't perfect. I had to put it out there. I have had 777 women as of today download this Is This Abuse checklist, and it's helping hundreds of women. I've revamped it. I've made it so much neater, more organized, with lots of different categories of all different types of abuse. All right. It's, how many pages is this version 2? 11 pages. And then on the back, we have some reflective questions. When I first left my abuser, when I was sitting in the domestic violence, it's not a shelter, but it was like a domestic violence area, they had categories of abuse, and all of questions very similar to this. Mine is way more intense. Mine's so much bigger than the book that I got given. And when I would read the questions, and I would go, oh my God, yes, I didn't even know that was abuse. This is what my checklist gives you. It gives you clarity. It gives you validation just by saying yes or no, if that's relevant to you under this category of abuse. Once you have this, and you can think of times for when you've said yes to this, that's when I have created the how to actually document the abuse. So now that you've got something, it might not be physical evidence. There is abuse that cannot be captured on camera, okay? There's a moment, there is a silence, there is a look, there is a tone, all of that sort of stuff is still abuse and needs to be documented, okay? Once you say yes to this, we have how to actually document the abuse. I'm telling you, by the time that you escape an abuser and you go to the police or any authorities to try and get some sort of protection and be taken seriously, the first thing they ask you is, what evidence do you have? If you just have a couple of yeses on here and nothing else, no actual factual evidence to support why you think you're in danger or to support that you have been abused and that you're a victim, they can't do much. This is on you. I know it sucks. I've been there, I've done it, and I've created things to help you not do it alone. I had to work all of this out completely on my own. Is this abuse? How to actually document the abuse. I'll show you a little bit in here. Of course, there's disclaimers, and before you begin, we have your immediate danger, contact info. How to actually use this document. I even have an example entry, okay? So when you're going through this checklist, you can use the incident template in here. We have date of incident. I've created here Friday the 7th of August 2026. Approximate time 8:40 p.m. Location kitchen at home. What happened? Facts only. Don't tell a story, don't tell a novel. They need the facts. Partner raised his voice and called me stupid in front of our daughter after I asked to see the bank statement. He said, "You're being dramatic, you always do this. You're stupid if you think I'm hiding anything." My physical response, shaking afterward, apologized to him even though I hadn't done anything wrong. Witnesses, our daughter, aged 4, was present. Evidence, no physical evidence from this incident noted for pattern tracking. Told anyone afterward? No, kept it to myself at the time. This is just a pretend scenario. This is just one that I made up to give an example. At face value, you're probably like, that isn't much. Where is that going to get me? If you have 50 of these, if you have 50, if you have 20, if you have 10 of very similar things, that is a pattern of psychological abuse, pattern of coercive control, which is now illegal in Australia, okay? I live in Queensland, Australia. Illegal. If you're not noting down even the small insignificant things like this, you cannot build evidence. You cannot build enough substantial evidence to support you when the time comes, okay? So I've created this to help you note about this. I have included some blank pages of your own templates that you can use as well. I also have in here a pattern tracker, okay? Now this is just one that I squeezed in here. You can feel free to create your own actual log book if you went and bought a book and tracked it all down. Of course, disclaimer, keep it safe, put your safety first. But we have the date, type of abuse, what happened, brief, and the evidence attached. And you need to I'm telling you, you need to log it all. Then we have the types of abuse reference guide. It lightly touches everything that is in here comprehensively. Is this abuse? Goes hand in hand. After that, you're still unsure, right? I'm fully aware of where a woman is at when they are even just opening up this document. It's very confronting, and I didn't realize the extensive amount of abuse I was in until I went through a checklist like this. You gaslight yourself, okay? You have a lot of self-doubt, you question yourself, and you are being made to believe by your abuser, depending on how many years you've also been with this person, that you are crazy. So then seeing this coming from an outsider rocks your world. I'm aware that when you first have this, it's not always easy to jump straight into documenting it, but I'm telling you, the earlier you start, the more that you have, all of these little incidents are going to help you significantly in the end. So then I've got how to actually know it's abuse. You're like, even just hearing my little example, you're like, that doesn't really sound like abuse. It is abuse, okay? Your threshold of what abuse is varies. Somebody that has never had a domestic violence or doesn't even have anyone in their circle that is going through domestic violence is gobsmacked by even a scenario like that. Me, my threshold and what I've seen in domestic violence my entire life is on the very other end of the extreme, okay? So my threshold, even seeing this, I'm just like, called her a couple of names and controls the money. Oh, big whoop. That's how I used to think, okay? Because I've seen so much worse. It doesn't matter. Abuse is abuse. Anyway, I'm very passionate about this. How to actually know it's abuse. So this is for women who are still being gaslit, they're confused, and they're learning to trust themselves again, okay? I've got a really nice letter for you at the beginning. Note on safety. We have our contents page and what we covered together. So we've got part 1, which is about why you're confused and why that is normal and that makes sense, okay? We have part 2, which is about your body knowing. It's reading your physical signs that you may not be able to have the knowledge to link together. And it goes on. Part 1, it gets into the confusion, that it's a part of the pattern. We have things like what confusion actually is. It's things like your partner has told you, you're too sensitive, I never said that, you always do this. It's confusion with what their gut is telling them. Something is wrong, I don't feel safe, I'm not okay. What they've been taught abuse should look like, dramatic, obvious, physical, like I just mentioned. When what they hope is still true, that this person loves them the way that they deserve. So this is what the confusion is, okay? They're colliding between these beliefs and misbeliefs. So this workbook helps you separate those beliefs, okay? We have the minimization ladder. Does this sound familiar? That was a bad night, but it's not a pattern. Okay, it's a pattern, but it's not that serious. Okay, it's serious, but I provoke it sometimes. Okay, I don't provoke it, but people who love each other fight like this. Okay, not everyone fights like this, but he's working on it. Okay, he's not really working on it, but it's not abuse. Okay, it might be abuse, but I still love him. Okay, I love him, but I can't leave. If you recognize yourself anywhere on that ladder, you're not weak or any of the negative self-talk that comes up for you. You are doing what humans do to survive situations that feel impossible. And I help you working through all of this. So we get into part 2. We've got your body knows, reading our signals. Check any that you recognize in yourself. Things like I tense up or my stomach drops when I hear the car pulling in, the phone ring, or footsteps. My sleep has changed, either insomnia or wanting to sleep all the time. The relief when they leave signal. It's a lot. The walking on eggshells experience. I talk about that. I talk about naming what happened in the patterns. Gaslighting, control, isolation, emotional withholding, threats, intimidation, fear, verbal abuse, emotional manipulation, the gaslighting gallery. I give examples, okay? This is a lot more in depth than the other first 2. You can get them as a bundle, you can get them individually. They're all on my website and they all help women escape domestic violence. The last thing we need is more women and children dying in situations like this. I'm here to help.